Welcome to the deep dive. We are jumping straight into, well, a really monumental text today and a key moment within it. We're looking at the profound spiritual crisis of the young Prince Rama.
That's right. Our source material is chapters 27 through 30 of the first book of the Yoga Vasistha.
And if you know this text, you know it's huge, it's complex. It really starts with this seemingly simple question. How do we actually achieve freedom while we're still living?
Exactly. And this first book, the Book of Dispassion, or Vairagya, it's arguably the most crucial prerequisite for the whole journey described later.
So our mission today, then, is to really focus in on Rama's state of mind.
Precisely. We want to track that exact moment when dispassion stops being just, a philosophical concept and becomes this deep, almost agonizing driving force for him.
Yeah.
Rama's basically describing the necessary groundwork, recognizing the futility of it all before the seed of true wisdom can even take root.
And the setup is immediately gripping. I mean, here's Rama. He's the ideal prince, young, successful, powerful.
Everything you'd think someone would want.
Exactly. Yet the text says his mind is immersed in a mire of anxieties. He's struck with fear at everything.
Okay, so let's unpack that a bit. We have this prince. He literally owns the world, but he feels like royalty is a prison. It makes you wonder, is this just like a rich kid problem? How is this spiritual anguish different from just, boredom or existential angst someone wealthy might feel?
Well, the text is pretty clear. This isn't personal disappointment. It's more a cosmic observation.
All right.
Rama isn't upset because he, say, lost a battle or failed at something specific. He's distraught because he sees this universal law of impermanence affecting everything, no matter what humans do.
So bigger than him?
Much bigger. He realizes that worldly life, even when it seems pleasant on the surface, offers no real tranquility, no peace for the soul. Why? Because it all falls apart eventually.
Right.
And that observation, that's the real test, you could say, is this profound recognition of suffering, of dukkha, that drives someone towards a permanent solution, not just patching things up temporarily.
How?
Okay, so once he starts seeing things this way, his critique of all the usual stuff, wealth, power, even the body, it gets incredibly sharp, almost brutal.
Oh, absolutely.
He looks at the body, which is, the center of so much of our effort and desire, and he just sees it as completely vain. He uses that really vivid kind of sad imagery, doesn't he? The body declining with age, its beauty flies away like the bloom of a fading lotus flower.
It's a total rejection of material form as any kind of stable ground. Ram points out, as the body gets older, gets gray hairs, death is basically celebrating.
Wow.
What really strikes me is just how final his examples are. He says, even these incredibly powerful men are just reduced to a heap of ashes in a few days.
Yeah.
So if the very container for your happiness is that fragile, built to crumble, well, prioritizing anything outside your own inner peace starts to look like a fool's game.
That sense of inescapable futility, it really pushes him to figure out the internal cause of all this restlessness. And that's when he zeroes in on the mind itself, which leads to that famous metaphor, right? The world is a forest of desires.
Yes, a wilderness tangled with these vines of greed and trees of sensuality.
And our minds, we're the monkeys.
Right, like monkeys that pass their time wandering about this forest without finding fruit.
That monkey metaphor, it just captures the distracted human state so perfectly, doesn't it?
It really does. It's that constant, pointless movement, the chasing, the grasping, never settling, never finding real satisfaction.
And the mind doesn't find fruit because the forest itself is the illusion, the trap.
Precisely. The goal isn't to find better fruit in the forest. It's to see that wandering in that desire forest is futile from the start.
Okay. And this whole diagnosis then shapes his idea about what real strength is. He makes this distinction between, battlefield courage and inner strength.
He defines the true warrior.
Yeah, and it's not the guy fighting war elephants or winning battles.
No. The truly strong, he says, are those who withstand the surges of the mind amidst the streams of carnal appetites. Inner mastery, self-control. That's the real measure of courage.
That's a pretty radical way to redefine heroism, especially back then.
It is. And it's essential groundwork for understanding his most profound philosophical point in this part, I think. That statement about the true poison.
Oh, right. He literally says that the worldliness of man is his true poison and that actual physical poison is no poison to him.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds completely backwards. How can being attached to the world be worse than actual physical death? It flips everything upside down.
It does. And this is where the Yoga Vasistha offers this Really revolutionary insight, especially for someone familiar with these concepts. See, real physical poison, it only harms you locally. It damages the body in this life.
Okay.
Your story ends here, maybe, but your spiritual journey, your potential, it just resets. But the poison of worldliness, that attachment to outcomes, the greed, the accumulation of karma that, he says, destroys his future life.
Destroys his future life.
Meaning, it doesn't just mean the next life will be bad. It means it keeps the whole cycle going, the cycle of rebirth, samsara.
Ah, okay.
So Rama is basically arguing that attachment to the world is the only real existential threat because it guarantees you'll keep suffering life after life after life.
So it's not the actions themselves, it's the clinging in the mind that keeps that wheel spinning. Wow. That is a huge realization.
It's massive.
And the logical endpoint of all this thinking is just total dispassion. Vairagya. Rama declares he finds no delight in my gardens, nor have any pleasure in women. I feel no joy at the prospect of riches. His only solace now is in my own heart and mind. He's reached that state of seeking only transcendence.
And this detachment really gets cemented in Chapter 28. Here, Rama focuses intensely on the ever-changing nature of the world. His core point is pretty simple, really.
Just
Everything, wealth, relationships, even mountains and cities, it's all as impermanent as things you see in a dream. Everything is constantly transforming, heading towards destruction.
And he doesn't just leave it abstract. He really hammers it home with these specific, almost visceral images of change, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. He talks about a mountain that reaches the sky being leveled, dug into a pit. A bustling city today becoming an empty wilderness tomorrow.
It makes it so concrete.
And then there's that devastating line about the human body. It just stops you cold.
Which one?
The body, clothed in silk today, is thrown into a ditch tomorrow.
Oof. Yeah.
There's no negotiation, no middle ground with time. All the external stuff, the silk, the status, it just vanishes instantly when the body dissolves.
It's really hard to read that section and not feel, well, a bit punched in the gut. We all kind of know time flies, but Rama turns impermanence into this relentless cosmic force.
He really does.
And here's where it gets really interesting, I think, because he uses these symbols that make the fleeting nature of life almost poetic.
Yes, beautiful, sad poetry. Life is as unsteady as the flame of a lamp placed by the draft of an open window.
Yeah.
One little puff, and it's out. The splendor of worldly things is as flickering as the flash of lightning. Here, and then gone.
Wow.
And the whole existence of the visible world is like an actress on the stage shuffling her vests as she trudges along. Change is the performance itself.
But the truly novel part here is how he talks about the director of this whole show, time.
Right. That's fascinating, his analysis of time itself. Rama sees time as this skillful player in the theater of the world.
A player?
Yeah, an entity that orchestrates creation, destruction, rebuilding, turning water into land, land back into water. Time is like the master sculptor shaping reality.
Okay.
And here's the twist for humans. Rama points out that time seems chiefly skilled in tragedy when it comes to our lives. It's constantly breaking beings down, sometimes even before they reach maturity.
So time isn't just neutral decay, it's like an active agent specializing in wrecking human plans and hopes.
That's the implication. If everything you build, everything you own, everything you get attached to is fundamentally unstable, almost designed for tragedy by the universe's own rules.
Then focusing on anything changeable is like building your house on sand.
Exactly. And the takeaway for you, for the listener, is crucial. Recognizing this deep impermanence acts like a spiritual pressure point. It forces us to look beyond the world of forms for real stability, maybe in pure awareness or truth, because nothing you build in the visible world can ever guarantee peace.
If your sense of self isn't built on anything changeable,
Then time's tragic skills, as Rama puts it, they don't really have a target, do they?
so these huge philosophical insights, the body's vanity, the world's changeability, attachment being poison, they all come together in Chapter 30, and it's this really raw, agonizing confession of his inner turmoil.
It's spiritual honesty at its most intense. He's detailing the actual pain that comes with this level of realization.
He sounds completely overwhelmed by the contradictions.
He is. And he doesn't try to pretty it up. The confusion, this Vairagya, this dispassion is stirred up in him. He uses these really powerful similes to describe his mental state, starting with vulnerability.
Like what?
His mind, he says, is like a frightened woman alone in the desert. Afraid because it's missing the strong-handed husband, that's true. Settled contentment. It shows the isolation and fear that can come when you strip away all the usual worldly comforts and illusions.
That's powerful. And his thoughts. He describes them as entangled in my desire for worldly enjoyments, like stags caught in a pit covered with grass.
Right. The trap looks inviting the grass, but it just leads to distress, takes away freedom. He sees the appeal of desire, but he also sees the inevitable suffering that follows it.
He's caught in the middle.
Exactly. He calls it the half-waking condition. This is key. He says our minds are partly settled on worldly things and partly fixed on their giver, on the source, on Brahman, perhaps.
Ah, that split focus.
Yes. This divided state, being pulled in two totally fundamental directions, that's the root of the anxiety. It's like, when you're trying to meditate, but your mind is simultaneously making a grocery list.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Spiritually present, but practically distracted.
That's the lack of integration Rama's describing. It's seeing the world, knowing intellectually it's not ultimately real, but still feeling its pull, its desires.
Like being in the dark, seeing a tree stump and thinking maybe it's a person, that uncertainty.
Exactly that simile he uses. It prevents clarity, prevents peace. You're just stuck, perplexed with endless doubts.
And out of all this intense confusion comes his desperate plea, his questions to the sages. These are really the core questions the whole Yoga Vasistha aims to answer, aren't they?
Absolutely. He's not just asking for philosophy now. He wants practical wisdom. He needs the path to liberation while living in the world.
That essential tension. How can you live in the world but remain untainted by worldliness? He uses that beautiful image. Remain as pure and intact as a drop of water on a lotus leaf.
That's the goal. Engagement without getting stuck. Participation without corruption.
He's really yearning for transformation, not just intellectual understanding.
Definitely. He asks how the foulness of my heart, like a lake disturbed by elephants and polluted with dirt, can regain its clarity. He wants a way of life, an example maybe, like King Janaka, who supposedly achieved enlightenment while ruling.
He needs the how, the mechanism that turns this painful dispassion into lasting peace, into enlightenment.
That's exactly what he's begging for.
So let's try and sum this up. We followed Rama's mind from being this successful prince to reaching a state of, well, almost existential dread. He's fully achieved total dispassion Vairagya, which, as you said, is the absolutely essential first step.
The necessary ground.
And he rejected the world not because he failed at it, but because he succeeded in seeing its inherent futility, its power to destroy inner peace through that poison of attachment.
And this profound realization completely shifts what he values now. It's all about peace and freedom from worldly entanglement. And crucially, he mentions the company of good people.
Ah, yes. That's important.
He explicitly says, after describing all this deep suffering, there are no anxieties, which cannot be put to an end by the company of good-minded men. He compares it to moonbeams driving away the dark.
So wisdom, spiritual community, that becomes his refuge, the only stable things in this whole chaotic theater of time.
Seems to be the conclusion he reaches here.
Rama longs to be like that drop of water on a lotus leaf in the world, but untouched by it. So if we connect this back to, us, the listener, if happiness and freedom really come from what you don't cling to, from achieving some level of that Vairagya, then maybe the question for us is, what small piece of worldly enjoyment or status or outcome could you, maybe just for today, honestly see as mere straw, like Rama suggests?
That's a powerful reflection.
Just taking that first mental step, recognizing the potential poison in attachment, maybe that's the only way to even begin that journey toward real inner clarity. Something to think about anyway, as you navigate your own maybe half-waking condition.